This is Domenic from SA Capital, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Bitcoin USD. So as everybody knows, there's been a lot of FUD around the space. Bitcoin supposedly was seized by the FBI from the ransomware attackers, and that created a lot of FUD. There's been a lot of China news coming out. Trump said that Bitcoin seems like a scam to him. It's a lot of noise that's been happening down here. But on the bright side, El Salvador actually made Bitcoin a legal currency in their country, which I believe is the first one, and that has created a good kind of rebound that's happened recently. But as we can see here, we had a near 55% correction from its high, right around 55%. This was well needed as Bitcoin pumped almost a little over 1,000% from its low in March. And right now, everybody's wondering, are we in a bear market, or are we going to continue our bull market and hit 100K this year? So right now, we can't say for sure what's going to happen, but on the short-term outlook, we can see that Bitcoin might be finding a local bottom right now. So to start off, I'm going to draw my support and resistance zones. We have a very important support zone, about 31,000. As we can see, we had about 2 wicks right there. We have another very important resistance zone, a support zone as of right now, with around 33,300. We have another important support zone as of right now at 3,500, and on to the resistances. We have a resistance right now at about 36.3, and there is another important resistance zone at 37.5. Next up, we have another important resistance zone at 38,800. And for our final one right now, we're going to be looking at the 39.6 mark. This is kind of where Bitcoin's been playing for the past few weeks, and many people are kind of concerned, are we going to break 30K? Are we going to 20K? Are we going to revive and potentially hit 40s and 50s again? So as I can see right here, this is a very good sign that we had day closes above the 33,000 mark, because as you can see right over here, before Bitcoin hit its all-time high of 65,000, we actually were stuck under this important resistance zone. But right now, Bitcoin has only wicked below this and it's formed candles above, which is a very, very good sign. So as we can see, this 200-day moving average was resistance. We are looking to get above that, but right now we first need to get above the 37.5 mark. So if I put it down on a little smaller time frame to draw this trend line, we can see that we have a trend line right here, and Bitcoin has actually broken out of this trend line within the last 4 hours. Bitcoin has broken the $35,200 mark and has pumped right to the $36,400 mark. And before we could say we're in clear waters, we need these two moving averages to break above. This is the 4-hour chart, and these two moving averages, the 50-day and 100-day. As we can see, they were large right here, but they have been getting very compressed recently, and this important mark right here is going to act as resistance for some time, but if we can break above this right here, we will be set free for a pump to a minimum of 38,000. But on the bright side of things, this trend line was a trend line for 30 days, and we have finally broken over that, and it is a very, very good sign. So I believe that we very likely have actually found a bottom on Bitcoin for some time, potentially a few weeks. But if you look back at the other time frames on the week chart, I need to go to a different chart so we could see more data here. We can see right here that the 50-week moving average has always provided some type of bounce during a bull market. Anytime we hit a high, we at least had some type of bounce right here. Same thing here in our last one. Hit a high, a bounce right here. We actually had 2 bounces off of this. So right now, Bitcoin is really very close to this. It sits at about 29,300. We can say that this is a bounce. We could say we might have to touch below, but this is a good sign that Bitcoin isn't just going to drop below 30K and tumble right to 20 using historical data. We're at least going to see a 15 to 20% revival, potentially more. And if we use our Fibonacci tool right here, we can see that the price after the bounce hit the 0.382. If we see right here, the price after the bounce also hit the 0.382. So if history repeats itself, we're going to be looking for a bounce to about 43,000. And at that point, if Bitcoin can break above that, it's going to be a very, very good sign. And I believe that it will likely touch its high and potentially even make a new high towards the end of this year. So that's a very good sign. But I'm going to take a look at the indicators now. As we can see, the stochastic RSI hit a low right here. It revived higher the past 2 weeks, but then we had a nice drop down. But in a good sign is that we did not go anywhere near as low as we did here. The price went very low, but the stochastic actually did not go that close to where it was. So this is a good sign. So this is considered a bullish divergence. It's not a textbook one, but it's considered a bullish divergence. So that's a good sign on the price action. The regular RSI right here has actually been making lower highs since the start of this year. As we can see, there's a high set here, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. But the price has started to curl around, which the stoch is following. And if we draw a more short-term trend right here, we did break it earlier today, but we have pulled back just a bit. But as we can see, we are very close to breaking this. And once this occurs and we break this 50 mark, Bitcoin is free for a revival to a minimum 43,000 in my opinion. And it's going to be good for the rest of the market. But then at that point, we have to reevaluate and see what's going to happen, because we might be in a bear market. And the real big telltale of if we are in a bear market is going to be if we hit this 0.382, get rejected, and start coming down hard. That's going to be a very good sign. We might be in a bull market, a bear market, and we're going to see the $20,000 mark, potentially even lower. So I'm going to take a look at the 4-hour chart before we wrap this up. And as we can see right here, the price has started to curl around. We had very, very sharp lower lows here. Then our price has curled around, and price is now starting to go higher, potentially breaking this uptrend curve. And once that occurs, like I said before, it is going to be a very good shot to potentially hit that $43,000 mark, which is about the 200 MA on the 4-hour. But before that can happen, we do need to break these resistance zones. The important one is 37.8, and then we have another important one at just about 39.4. Once that happens, we're free to touch the $42,000 mark, and then we will reevaluate. But on the 4-hour chart, we can see that the RSI revived very strongly off oversold. This is an awesome sign. We haven't seen a revival this strong in a long time, and it tells me that Bitcoin most likely has found a local bottom for at least a few weeks. So with that being said, we need to keep an eye on the $33,700 mark. If Bitcoin breaks below this again and starts coming down hard, breaks below, starts coming down hard, cannot revive, we are likely going to set a new low. But I see that as of right now, the less likely scenario. I believe the more likely scenario will be that we break above this 37.8, hold it, and then potentially see our $43,000 revival. So with that being said, I hope all of you guys have a clear view of kind of what the market's going to be doing and kind of how to react to the future price action. So I hope all of you guys enjoyed that video, and I will be coming at you next week with another video.